Salut à tous les popis, c'est Popitox et j'espère que vous avez tous la forme. Aujourd'hui on se retrouve pour l'épisode 35 de GreedFall et on va faire l'épreuve de l'eau. Donc se présenter pour l'épreuve. Alors fais voir un petit peu. Ok.
Look, these beasts are feeding on that carcass. If only we could pour some sleeping potion on it.
Potion de sommeil. On s'en bat les couilles. Tiens. Voilà. Qu'est-ce qu'on s'en fout des potions de sommeil? On les nique. On les nique facile. On a l'habitude. Entrer dans la grotte de l'épreuve. Alors. Il y avait quoi là? Ça fait des points d'expérience, on s'en fout. Allez, Pétrous. Ah, ça fait des points d'expérience, on s'en bat les couilles. Entrer dans la grotte de l'épreuve. J'ai traversé comme une grotte là.
Look at the basin and the symbols around it. Given the islanders' taste for rituals and enigmas, I think you should touch the water.
The native witchcraft has raised its head again. You were shivering and had an absent stare for a brief moment.
Yes. I had another one of those visions. Another key to a ritual, I suppose.
What were you this time?
I was in the sky. I was floating, carried by the wind. And it was a cold feeling. I was high up, and it was getting colder and colder. I felt my blood freezing in my veins. I fell to the ground and spun slowly. Suddenly I bounced on the ground. Then, just like before, the vision... This stone is adorned with the etching of a drop of water.
Ok.
Here this looks like a snowflake. The snow, or maybe ice. This drawing looks like an infant. Could it represent life? The drawing on this stone makes me think of fire. I'm certain. On this stone the sun is visible. This stone bears the image of a stork. Well, this stone is blackened, eaten away. I think it's supposed to evoke death.
Tell us again what you saw when you touched this basin.
I was in the sky.
Dans les airs, flotté par le
I was
vent.
floating, carried by the wind. And it was a cold feeling. I was high up, and it was getting colder and colder. I felt my blood freezing in my veins. I fell to the ground and spun slowly. And then the sun warmed me. Suddenly I bounced on the ground. And I was taken by the bubbling current of this creek. Then, just like before, The vision dissipated, and I was suddenly with you again.
Tell us again what you saw when you touched this basin.
I was in the sky. I was floating, carried by the wind, and it was a cold feeling. I was high up, and it
En haut
was
dans le ciel, il
getting
faisait
colder and
froid.
colder.
Froid.
I felt my blood freezing in my veins. I fell to the
Froid.
ground, spun slowly,
Feu. Froid, feu.
and then the sun warmed me. Suddenly I bounced on the ground, and I was taken by
Froid,
the
feu,
bubbling
eau.
current of this creek. Then, just like before, the vision dissipated, and I was suddenly with you again. Evidently, I shouldn't have lit this candle.
Alors. Vent. Froid. Soleil.
Tell us again what you saw when you touched this basin.
Alors.
I was in the sky.
Ça c'est fait.
I was floating, carried by the wind, and it was a cold feeling. I was high up, and it was getting
Froid.
colder and colder.
Hmm.
I felt my blood freezing in my veins. I fell to the ground and spun slowly,
Le soleil. Hmm.
and then the sun warmed me. Suddenly I bounced on the ground, and I was taken by the bubbling
C'est bon.
current of this creek. Then, just like before, the vision dissipated, and I was suddenly with you again.
Et c'est tout?
My dear child.
I'll take.
C'est tout. Alors, fais voir un peu. Réseau des nids de la source, ça compile les preuves des eaux, c'est bon. Apprivoiser. Et par là, il y a quoi?
This must be the seal that Glendan spoke about. It looks like the silhouette of the mountain of Tearfredi, and a face is drawn within it.
Ok, il y a rien. Parler de l'épreuve à grande dent. Voilà, mission accomplie. L'épreuve des eaux, c'est fait. J'ai pas besoin de toi pour qu'on me dise d'entrer, connard.
And so you have returned.
A face in the mountain of Tearfredi.
Then you have seen the true face of the island when looking. You have given the blood of the animals that protected the entrance to the... In the second room, you have awoken the Dosentats to better best. Finally, you have completed the ritual. You choose to trust the way of rules and wisdom. The island has seen your intelligence and also your compassion.
Am I authorized to encounter Enomil Frichtemann now?
If the High King agrees, yes. Only a High King or High Queen is allowed to open the sanctuary.
I suppose that I'm going to need to convince them as well.
I do not know. And I believe that it may be another...
Is he hiding? Has he been captured?
He disappeared several months ago. The last people to have seen him, I'm told, were there was Deirdre, Blacknid, Ulan, and Dunkas.
I fear that Queen Bladnid can no longer help.
Yes, we have learned of her fate. Deirdre is the Mal of the clan of the Storm Warriors.
I've already met her. She sent me...
That sounds like her. It is said that he welcomes the... He is the chief of the Earth Healers.
Very well. I will go and see them. Try to find this...
Et bon, l'épreuve des eaux, c'est terminé. Niveau 31. Alors, attributs. Constitution, précision, volonté, puissance, agilité. Force. Et là. Voilà. Alors. Parler du sanctuaire à Constantin. Constantin, il est là-bas. Bah, c'est bien, petit à petit on avance. On avance, on avance. Au moins ça. Alors.
Lieutenant, I demand an explanation. Tell us what is going on. We haven't heard anything about Lord D'Orsay's condition in spite of our inquiries. We are extremely worried. And then all of a sudden one of his guards appears, shaken and on his own, though he is part of his retinue.
Please, allow me the chance to shed some light, my lady.
Your soldier is nothing more than a coward for abandoning his highness.
Tell me, what is going on?
This soldier has just reported in. He is asking for reinforcements. He believes that Lord D'Orsay has been attacked.
He believes. He ran here without full knowledge of what happened firsthand.
I was sent on patrol far from the camp, but I heard screams from men and from beasts. I wanted to return to camp, but then I heard a deafening sound, grinding like a landslide. I thought then it would be best just to go and get help.
Thank you, Lieutenant. You are dismissed. I would like to have a discussion with this man alone.
Yes, sir.
My lady, could you lead these fine people into the hallway, if you would be so kind?
Certainly. I deplore this embarrassing turn of events, but know that you have my full support in all circumstances.
In the interest of avoiding a general panic, tell me precisely what happened back there.
Your cousin ordered us to escort him beyond the town limits. The islander convinced him to go on some journey.
By islander, do you mean the Denegat that came to treat his affliction?
Yes, a strange bird. I was ordered to set up patrol along a small... I was told to protect our perimeter from anyone. According to the islander, it was the only access to their planet. Not a soul came along. But then I heard an enormous crashing sound like an avalanche of rocks.
And you ran all the way here? Do you know precisely where the company was when you heard these sounds?
No, not precisely. I hadn't gone there. The islanders said they were following the path.
Why didn't you go and look for yourself? To see if they had been buried by a rock slide?
What? Alone? What could I have done?
I'm still having trouble deciding if cowardice or intelligence got the best of you. But that's a question for your superiors. My cousin was quite weak. Do you know why he decided to follow the Denegat?
His Highness was feeling much better. The potions that he was... I mean to show no disrespect to His Highness, but that islander had the... I wasn't privy to their counsel. I haven't the big... Your cousin was all full of enthusiasm and ordered...
That sounds like him.
What? I am sorry, sir.
Dismissed, soldier. Looks like...
Thank you, sir.
Ok. Sur les traces du haut roi. Interroger Dart, Duncan, le chef de... Ok. La recherche de Constantin. On va faire la recherche de Constantin du coup. Alors. On va aller par là-bas. Alors, c'est par où? Voilà.
This is the camp that Constantine's escort must have established.
Someone or something attacked and tore everything to shreds. This seems all too familiar.
Search the zone. Let's see if we can find any clues as to what's happened here. The tents were lacerated by what looks like claws, and there are traces of blood everywhere. Some of these men must have been attacked in their sleep. By beasts?
Sûrement.
Most of the weapons are missing. Our soldiers wouldn't have taken a rest without defenses. Our soldiers were attacked by surprise, and there were animals among the assailants. However, our men reacted properly. They were armed and they fled as best they could. There are no bodies, and no sign of Constantine or Catasac's presence here. Perhaps they were in another place, and the soldiers wanted to join them. We need to follow the tracks. This area has been trampled. An entire stampede passed by here. Our soldiers must have fled the zone and taken this path followed by their assailants.
La grotte du savoir.
This is a sacred place of a native cult. No doubt this is where Catasac and Constantine were going. There are bodies, and without a doubt there was fighting here. Search the place. Let's see what we are able to find. This blade is a native ritual knife, and this bowl contained a potion. Someone wanted to perform a ritual here. Could Catasac have found a better means to alleviate Constantine's symptoms? Crater, without a doubt caused by an explosive potion. The soldiers might have been carrying them. They must have been desperate to have taken such drastic measures. The corpses of both men and beasts. These soldiers fought dearly until the end. Neither Constantine nor Catasac are among them. Constantine and Catasac must have been visiting this place. Perhaps performing some sort of healing ritual. When the attack took place, the soldiers intervened, and many fell during the fight. But a group was able to escape down this path. We need to continue following their tracks.
Bon. On va aller par là-bas.
More tracks. Footprints. They must have fled this way.
Ça brûle.
Strange. These trees look half calcinated, as if they were exposed to immense heat. These weapons are in terrible condition. Whatever did these men come up against? Another burnt tree. This path seems to have been scorched in flames. I can't believe that our soldiers could be carrying so many explosive potions. These poor soldiers were torn to pieces. Animals again, or something else. New footprints. It looks as if a group met up with them and took this path. There was more fighting over here. There are not only the corpses of our own men, but where could these other soldiers have come from? More signs of explosions. But what were they doing with all these explosives on them? There are footprints. Only a handful made it up to here.
Ok.
The path stops on this overhang, and despite signs of a skirmish, I can't see any sign of Constantine or Cass.
Voilà.
These rocks were broken, as if they had taken cannon fire. What could have happened here? I don't recognize these men. Still more unknown soldiers. Could they have been responsible for the attack? This one is carrying a letter. Let's see. According to this note, this troop came from an outpost of the Bridger lines close by. A patrol, no doubt. Could the bridge in some way be linked to this attack? That makes no sense. These vials look familiar. Katasach used the very same to stock his potions. He must have come here. I'm going to pick them up. I recognize this sack. It's my cousin's. Oh, Constantine, what have you gotten yourself into again? Very well. Let's sum things up. Constantine and Katasach definitely came through here to perform some sort of ritual, but they were attacked. An attack obviously involving wild animals. And then there are these traces of inexplicable flames. Could it be magic?
No colonist understands how to control the fauna of this island. Whereas for the native wise men...
You believe Katasach could have orchestrated this attack?
Who else? You know all too well that with your cousin a hostage...
He would then have only accepted to treat him in order to gain... But regardless of who is guilty, we could return to Wenxavier. Perhaps Catassac returned there. We are also going to have to visit the outpost. Their soldiers were involved in the combat, or at least the end.
And you think that they would have taken Constantine? But if you suspect them to have participated in the combat to capture him... I know the captain of that outpost. A pessimistic man who would never order an attack without...
Perhaps. Unless he was simply obeying orders. However, one way or another, Constantine is in danger. Let us be on our way without further delay.
Ok. Donc... Donc...
Colonials? You must have gotten lost to have come this...
Disarday. I am legate of the congregation of...
A legate? Here? Pardon my dismay, but we don't get many here. Captain Idris. I am the... What can I do for you, sir?
I'm looking for Constantine d'Orsay, the island governor.
The governor? Here?
My cousin was part of an expedition. His men and his camp were attacked, but we found no trace of his body, which has us wounded and holding up somewhere.
Have you cast your suspicions in our direction? I hope this is a joke. We've had neither reinforcements nor supplies for weeks. I wouldn't risk the few lives remaining to attack a governor's camp. I'm not crazy. I'm truly sorry for your cousin, Excellency. But the region is dangerous. The natives are heartless.
You do know that we found the bodies of several men from the...
How could you be sure?
One of them was carrying a note, signed by your...
And they are dead. I had hoped they'd have...
Explain yourself, Captain.
They were monitoring the zone. We have lost too many men to surprise attack. Yesterday, we heard screams.
And you didn't go and see for yourself? You hear screams, certainly those of your own men, and you don't do anything.
So the last of my men give up their lives for nothing as well? You can think of me as a coward if you like.
Why do I have the feeling that you're holding something back from me?
Captain, my name is Afra. You might remember me. I passed by this outpost with my fellow scholars.
The Lost Expedition? Yes, I remember.
His Excellency was able to extract...
His Excellency has powers that I do not possess.
I'm casting no stones at you. You are isolated, and you have the feeling that the powerful of this world have abandoned you. and you want to make them pay. But a life hangs in the balance. We must save him.
You were right. One of the men I posted...
A survivor? Excellent. Did he tell you what...
He wasn't able to say a word. He collapsed unconscious too. Our nurse sits with him, but his wounds are extremely serious.
I'm sorry to hear that, Captain. Perhaps we...
Go and see the nurse. I can't take it anymore. Anything else?
Concerning the young man that survived.
Did you see the nurse?
Not yet.
Really? I thought that your cousin's... This boy will not survive long if so... Anything else?
I need to be going.
I would very...
Ok.
What are you doing there? This is an infirmary.
I know. I've come to see the wounded soldier.
That is very kind of him. But alas...
What are you saying?
No, he still lives. But I've been asking the captain for weeks to escort me on a mission to... I no longer have a single remedy. And now that we have a wounded patient...
Do you know what type of remedy would allow him to survive?
Yes, at least I think so. It's a...
I see. Give me the recipe.
Thank you.
Ok, apporter remède de cela, une potion souveraine contre les brûlures. Alors.
Were you able to concoct the potion against...
Yes, I was.
Give it to me. I'll take care of this. We must wait and be patient now.
Will he make it?
I hope so. We'll know soon.
And if he survives, when...
Come back tomorrow at the same time.
Very well.
See you soon.
Ok. Ok. Maintenant il faut attendre. J'aime pas faire des allers-retours, mais bon, pas le choix.
Hello, soldier. How are you doing?
Better. A lot better.
I simply prepared the potion that she told me. Could you tell me what happened during the...
I will try. We were posted up on the peak to follow rebel movement, and we heard sounds of fighting not far from our position. Men were screaming. Soldiers of the Coin Guard and an islander were trying to protect a young man.
Constantine Katasak and his escort.
Dozens of wild animals. They seemed completely enraged and it...
Flames? Where were they coming from?
I don't know. Oh, I didn't see everything. But I thought I saw another islander. Big. He's the one who took the sickened man. There was practically no one left on the battlefield. I was wounded and I came to when I heard voices of islanders approaching. I thought to myself, they're coming to finish off the wounded. I dragged myself here.
I'm going to have to go and find these rebels.
You shouldn't do that.
That's enough. Rest now.
Yes, it's best I leave now. I'll have a word with your captain.
Ok.
Excellency, thank you. You can't...
Please. I did nothing more than follow...
Did you learn what you needed to?
Yes. I was able to He and his company heard sounds of My cousin's escort were already nearly annihilated. A strange sorcerer controlled them.
One of those rebel savages, no doubt. They must have learned that an important man was in the region and thought...
Don't apologize. I know where the camp can be found, and if my cousin is there...
Like you freed the scholars. Thank you again.
I need to be going.
I would very much like to do the same.
La voix du mort. Interroger Daryl. Ok. Bon, moi là on a vu. Voilà. Encore des monstres, putain. Voilà.
Hello.
Renaigse.
To speak to you about my cousin's capture and a soldier from the nearby outpost survived and told us...
You dare come here? Let me throw him out this Renaigse and may they receive this punishment for their arrogance.
I know that you see us as your enemies, but we are not here to harm you. I only seek to find the man I consider, as well as the man who is protecting him. Katisach, one of your greatest Donegal.
No Donea Exregal would attack.
If you didn't attack him, you must know what happened. I was told that an islander took my cousin away. Perhaps your men were there to aid them.
We do not have your cousin, and we do not know. As for Katasach, that night we heard the sounds of a terrible combat. We went to see. But we arrived. The last breath of Katasach had returned, and many of the Renaigse were dead. We carried the body of the Donegad, and...
He gave his life to protect Constantine. This request might surprise you, but we would like to see him.
Why?
What do you want to do with him?
Examine him to understand what killed him. We were told that an island native was there and that he likely led...
No Donea Exregal would attack Katasach. You have been lied.
That is the very reason I need to see his body.
You may see him. But if...
On t'emmerde. Voilà, espèce de connasse. Hein. On t'emmerde. Hein. Putain, eux sont mauvais, eux. Enculés. Hein. Un coup de lame, je les tue. Hein. C'est pas gros clochard, là.
Katasach. Seeing the state of his body. I hate myself for having suspected him. Forgive me, Denegad. To have doubted your loyalty and even more for what we are about to do. Now then. Let's see what story this corpse has to tell.
I can give a detailed examination of the corpse. It is a task that I have been trained to perform.
I gladly cede the privilege.
We note a great number of large, blunt force contusions, covering the entire surface of the victim's body. None of the wounds could be attributed to a blade or a spear, nor are there any visible bullet entry points. Practically every bone has been broken in multiple places. The rib cage was torn open and then collapsed. The open wound reveals multiple perforations of the vital organs. Here, the borders of the wounds have been singed. The flesh is blackened, exposed to a flame, no doubt. And we also note several patches of mineral residue. They seem oddly out of place in spite of the exotic insular origin of our deceased. I would be hard-pressed to tell you which of the wounds proved to be the fatal blow, but one thing is certain.
He was smashed violently by a giant rock that was without a doubt on fire.
Yes. These wounds are similar to those given by a heated cannon shot, though in a less regular fashion.
The dead soldiers we found had identical wounds. As crazy as this may sound, whoever is responsible for this attack...
In any other circumstance, but I stand on the side of the improbable.
We still don't really know who is actually behind, judging by the severity of these wounds.
All your experiments. You've learned so...
We had to at least try.
We've grown accustomed to the loss of lives. You're all the same. Guardian and Donegad would never attack. There is a ritual that might help us. Anatalas Fair.
The Anatalas Fair? What is it? Tell me more.
It is a magical rite that only a person with a power... It allows the Donegad who chants it to read...
That would allow us to at least see the face.
If what I have heard is true, yes.
Let's ask her for her help then. She might be able to tell us what...
You are quick to ask another to put her mind in... Imagine the pain of the wounds of another. This is what you must ask of the Tiernahach. When her companion was lost in battle, since that day, our Tiernahach Kadachta.
That would explain her distrust of the...
You must make her see your purpose.
Bon. Bon. On a eu ce qu'on voulait. Du coup les amis, on va se laisser ici pour cet épisode. J'espère en tout cas que ça vous aura plu. N'hésitez pas à partager, à liker, à vous abonner. Et bien sûr, comme d'habitude, faites ce que vous voulez. Je vous fais des très gros bisous. Et je vous dis à la prochaine pour un nouvel épisode sur GreedFall. Bisous les amis.